Why are you not getting promotion in your career? Why are you not getting that increment? Why are you not seeing progress in your job and career? You are a person who puts a lot of effort. You are a person who works uh, 12 hours a day and does everything that's required to get promotion and recognition and things like that. But even after putting such enormous efforts, you are not getting your promotion, you are not getting an appraisal, you are not getting what you deserve. So if you are a person who is facing this problem, then you are at the right spot, because in this video I'm going to explain to you in detail as to why a person doesn't get promotions easily, doesn't get a better job opportunity easily, and doesn't get gain in career. So if you want to know as to why you're not getting promotion or better career opportunities, then first you have to subscribe to Purab's Astrology, guys. If you subscribe to Purab's Astrology, you would get updates of such fabulous content. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't like this video, hit the dislike button. But make sure that you watch this video till the end, because if you don't watch it, then you'll be missing out on crucial information. So hey guys, what's up? I hope you guys are doing great, and I welcome you back to Purab's Astrology. Let's talk about delay and problems in promotion and career. Right. So let's get started. Primarily, you all know that the 10th house of your horoscope is the house which primarily shows your career, what sort of karma you will be doing. So in today's day and age, the 10th house has become the house of career, but in the Vedic age, the 10th house was the house of karma, right? It is the highest among the kendras. That is the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house are kendra bhavas. But the fourth house is the higher kendra than the first house. The seventh house is a higher kendra than the fourth house, and the 10th house is the highest kendra. 10th house decides the ambience and the situation of the karma that we would be doing in this life, right? So first of all, if you have an empty 10th house in your horoscope, or if you have an empty 11th house in your horoscope, right, that shows that the 10th house is becoming empty. There is no planets placed in the 10th house. So that's not good, because it is very important to have a couple of planets, at least one planet, or planets aspecting the 10th house in your horoscope, because empty shows less action in that particular area of your life, right? So imagine a situation where the 10th lord is weak or debilitated or negative in the 6th house, 8th house, 12th house, a debilitated, unfriendly sign, or conjunct with Rahu, Saturn, or Ketu, right? So already the 10th house lord is weak. Now if there is no planet in the 10th house, and if there is no aspect of planets in the 10th house, that means there is no action in your life, right? So this is a major problem with all the astrologers miss out the importance of planets being situated in the 10th house and the 11th house, because without this there is no public life, no focus on promotion. So that's a big problem. So imagine in the chart of a person, if 4 or 5 planets are placed in the 9th house, which is the loss house of the career, job, promotion, right? The 9th house is the loss house of the 10th house, and the rest of the planets are either in the 3rd house or the 12th house and things like that. So that becomes a spiritual horoscope. So there is no public visibility, there is no career, there is no job, there is no promotion. That is why people who turn spiritual, they don't get anything out of their career, because the 9th house, the house of spirituality, dharma, higher philosophy, is the lost house of the career. So this is one thing. The second thing is that it is very important to see and analyze the 10th house of your chart. Who is the lord of your 10th house? Is it Saturn, or is it Mars, or is it Jupiter, or is it Venus, for that matter? So whatever Rashi falls in the 10th house, whatever Rashi is falling in the 10th house, that would show the area of your work sphere. For example, in the chart of a Leo ascendant, the 10th house is controlled by the sign of Taurus. So I have seen personally that most of the people who are Leo ascendant, they are more into creativity, music, art, film, and things like that. because the overall energy of the 10th house itself is Taurus, which represents all these things, right? Now, in the chart of the Leo ascendant, if this Venus, the lord of the 10th house, is in the 9th house, for that matter, making a loss angle, or if this Venus is in the 6th house with Rahu, Ketu or Saturn, in the 8th house with Rahu, Ketu or Saturn, or in the 12th house with Rahu, Ketu or Saturn, this shows that the 10th house and the overall experience of the 10th house is not that great. So because of that, there will be no progress or slow progress in career. If it is conjunct with Ketu, then initial life, maybe till the age of 42, you would be seeing, career prospects and things like that. But after 42, slowly, the graph of the career will start dropping down, right? Similarly, if Saturn is either placed in the 10th house, or if Saturn is aspecting your 10th house. So if the Saturn is placed in the first house, then it will aspect the 10th house with its 10th aspect. If Saturn is placed in the 4th house, then it would aspect the 10th house with its 7th aspect. And if Saturn is placed in the 8th house, then it would aspect your 10th house with its 3rd aspect. Now, wherever Saturn is placed or wherever Saturn is aspecting, till the age of 35, there will be delay, anxiety, tension, restriction and boundaries. So your career will become very slow growth, right? And especially in the case of Saturn placed in the 10th house, your bosses, your higher ups, the people whom you report to, they will be very Saturnian. So they would not appreciate your work, and they would think that you are just a hard working labor and you need to just put hard work and efforts, right? So Saturn's influence of the 10th house delays and slow down the career. So that is why there is no progress or slow progress in the career till the age of 35. And after that, slowly the graph increases, and Saturn is like wine. So the older you get, the more progress you get in your career. The next thing is that nobody talks about the 7th house of your horoscope. The 7th house of your horoscope is the house which is 10 places forward from your 10th house. So Bhavat Bhavam, it is the future of the 10th house, right? It is the 10th from 10th. It is the house of business. The 7th house is the house of business and partnership, right? If the 7th house of your horoscope is afflicted, if Rahu is placed in the 7th house, or Ketu is placed in the 7th house, or Saturn is placed in the 7th house, or Saturn is aspecting the 7th house, or the lord of the 7th house is placed in conjunction with Saturn or Rahu or Ketu in the 6th or the 8th or the 12th, this shows that the Bhavat Bhavam, the future of your career, the 10th from 10th, that is the 7th house, it is getting compromised. So because of that, even though you have a good 10th house, exalted planet sitting in the 10th house, or the lord of the 10th house in the 10th itself, good overall experience coming from the 10th house, but if the 7th house is weak, the 7th house is compromised, like I told you before, that means that your career will have problems, because the 7th house holds a lot of say in your career, being connected to the 10th house, being 10th from the 10th, the status of the status, the future of the status, right? So if a bad 7th house, then it really affects your career. The next house is the 8th house of your horoscope. Now, what is the relationship between the 8th house and the 10th house? When you count 11 places forward from the 10th house, so 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th house is the gain house of the 10th house. So whatever gains that you would be doing through your career can be seen from the 8th house. So there is a saying that you work hard, you put a lot of efforts, but you're not gaining. There is always a problem and hindrance when it comes to gaining things in proportion or in regard or in ratio to the amount of efforts that you have put. So if the 8th house is afflicted, if Saturn is in the 8th, or if Rahu Ketu are in the 8th, or the lord of the 10th is in the 8th conjunct with Saturn, Rahu or Ketu, or if the 8th lord is in the 6th conjunct with Saturn, Rahu or Ketu, or in the 12th conjunct with Saturn, Rahu or Ketu, this shows that the gain house of the career, the 11th house from the 10th house, is getting compromised. So this slows down and delays the gain of your career. So if you were supposed to get promotion and become a MD or a CEO till now, then you would just be a director for that matter. So that is how the 8th house also holds an importance in the career, right? The 9th house of your horoscope, it is the lost house of the 10th house, right? So if there is Rahu in the 9th house or Saturn in the 9th house or a major concentration of planets in the 9th house, then your entire focus goes into education, into philosophical and higher learning pursuits. So if you continue to keep learning, when will you do the karma? That is the 10th house. So people who have a lot of planets in the 9th house, it is seen that because so many planets are placed in the lost house of the 10th house, so because of that, the karma gets slightly compromised, because whenever you put a lot of action and efforts in one particular house, then you are creating the loss of the next house. For example, if you are putting a lot of efforts in the 4th house, that is your property and things like that, then the 4th house is the lost house of the 5th house. So if you are into comforts and property and things like that, then your political career, your creative pursuits, your art, going in front of people and performance is the 5th house. So if you do the things of the 4th house a lot, then the 4th house is the lost house of the 5th house. So because of that, the 5th house gets compromised. Similarly, if you do the things of the 9th house a lot, then the 9th house is the lost house of the 10th house. So because of that, the 10th house gets compromised. Also, there is an influence of your Mahadasha system and also transit, because the 10th Lord Mahadasha, whenever it will get activated, that is when you will see progress in your career, because whenever Mahadasha comes, that is when that particular house and Rashi becomes activated. So if you are not getting the Mahadasha of your 10th Lord during your lifetime, then that is also a denial of career, because during the Antardasha maybe you will get a 3-year Antardasha period, sub periods you will get, but the major period, for example, Venus is the 10th Lord, so 20 years of Venus Mahadasha, if it would have come during your lifetime, then you could have achieved a lot in your career. But because your karma is denying career, so that is why even though Venus is exalted or Venus is placed in the own sign in the 10th house, but still because the Mahadasha is not coming, so you will not see progress in your job or career, because the 10th house is not getting activated fully during your lifetime, right? Also through transit, right? If malefics are transiting through your 10th house, for example, you are an Aries ascendant and Saturn is transiting through your 10th house in Capricorn, or for example, you are a Taurus ascendant and Saturn is transiting through Aquarius in your 10th house, or Rahu is transiting through Aquarius in your 10th house, then a malefic planet transiting through the 10th house shows certain amount of problems coming to the 10th house, because Saturn shows delay, denial, anxiety, boundary, frustration. So it would be a frustrating period when Saturn would be transiting through your 10th house. So this can be seen from your Lagna chart also, and this can be seen from your Rashi also, right? So there are a myriad things, but if you watch this video again and again, you will be able to understand what I'm saying. So putting things into a nutshell, the primary thing is that if the 10th house is afflicted, if malefics are placed in the 10th house, then the jobs and the promotions, they don't come easily, because your karma, you have done some negative karma, because of which either Saturn has decided to be placed in your 10th house and it is punishing you by delaying your career, or Rahu has placed in your 10th house and you are too much into several careers and too much into exploring so many career opportunities that you are not able to become a constant somewhere, and because of that you are missing out opportunities. Or Ketu gives dissatisfaction or disinterest from career. So if Ketu is in the 10th house, then you yourself are not putting that efforts. That is why you are facing a delay in job, delay in promotion, and delay in your overall career experience. So I hope this video enlightened you. I know this has become a very long video, but I just wanted to say everything that I know in one video. I love you all. This is Purab signing off from Purab's Astrology. Take care of yourself. Adios. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.